Welcome everybody. Welcome to GoTech. Just want to come on here and share a quick lab scenario. Won't be before you too long, but I want to do a quick lab scenario on access control lists. And right here I have a lab in front of me. I have two routers, a server, and two LAN PCs. So what I want to do is kind of go over some scenarios or kind of configure some ACLs on this specific topology and show you how it actually works when ACLs are set up. So let's go to our middle router in the middle. We're going to open that up and we're going to get into the command line. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get into the command line and I'm going to go into global configuration, which is after configuration mode, you hit enable and config T, you hit for global configuration. So I'm going to go into global configuration, and then I'm actually going to configure the IP addresses on the router. So you see we have these these specific IP addresses. So we got the 203 for the server subnet, we got the 10 for the PCs, and we got the 3.3 for the other router on the other end. So let's set up those IP addresses. So we're going to go into I know where the PCs are, so we're going to go into interface 0/0. I'm sorry, interface gigabit 0/0. And we're going to put IP address. We're going to make sure we put that in the 10.0 subnet. So 10.0.0 dot 1/24. And then that's already no shut. Then we're going to go to the server subnet, which is gigabit 0/2. And we're going to put IP address 203.10.10.1/29. So it's going to be 248. Okay, we should be done with that. And let's do the last IP address, which is actually on gigabit 0/1. And that's going to be IP address 3.3.3. What did we say we were going to make that? So /30. So that's going to be 3.3.3. Let's go dot 1.255, 255.5.252. Okay. So we got those IP addresses set up. And let's check our interfaces to make sure to see which interfaces are actually up. So the interfaces, so that'll be the command IP, show IP interface, show IP interface brief. And I always type brief commands. I don't type the command out fully because you don't necessarily have to, especially when it auto fills it for you. So I just type show IP int brief and we get the interfaces that are set up. So you got gig 0/0, which is this subnet. You got gig 0/1, which is the internet subnet, and then you got gig 0/2, which is the server subnet. Okay. So we'll put IP addresses on these PCs and then we'll test connectivity. So we'll put static IP addresses on these PCs. This is going to be dot three, so 10.0.0.3/24. And the default gateway is dot one. I'm going to do the same for this one. This is dot two. So I'm actually starting from scratch. So we're going to get to the ACL soon, but I'm just pretty much setting this up all the way from scratch. Okay, and let's test. connectivity to the router. So we got connectivity to the router. Let's test connectivity to the other PC. So that's dot three. I'm at dot two. So this whole portion of the network has connectivity. Okay. So now let's put an IP address on this server. We're going to put a static IP address on this server as well. So we got 203.10.10.2/29. So that's actually going to be 248. And the default gateway is dot one. So 203.10.10.1. And then we're going to test connectivity. So we're going to ping 203.10.10.1. Okay, so we got connectivity right there. So that's that half of the network. So we got connectivity from the server to the router, and then we got connectivity from the LAN to the router. Now all we need to do is set up connectivity from the router to the internet. So what I'm going to do is go in this router, and I'm going to put an IP address on this router. So we're going to go into configuration mode. Then we're going to go into interface, gig 0/0. I believe that's the interface. We're going to do a no shut just to check. Okay, that is the interface. So it's 0/0. Then we're going to put IP address 3.3.3. We're going to put 3.3.2, that 255, that 255, that 255, that 252. Then we're going to test connectivity. So we're going to put ping 3.3.3.1. Okay, so we got connectivity. So we got, see, it says success 100% success rate. So what I want to do with these ACLs, so I should from this PC2 and this PC3, so PC2 and 3, I should have connectivity on to all these nodes because they're connected to this central router. And routers, what they do is they route to networks that they know about. So even though these PCs are technically on a different network, the packets that hit this router in the middle, they're gonna be routed to whatever network that router knows about. So the router's connected to the server network and it's connected to the internet network. So if I go on PC2, I'm on PC2 and I do a ping to 3.3.3. That what do we say that is? That's two. So the internet router is two. I should be able to hit that router. Okay. So I can hit 3.3.1. I'm sorry. You know what? Um, I'm not okay. So it won't be able to hit that router. My apologies. Uh, so it won't be able to hit router. So I'm thinking about if network address translation was configured. If network address translation was configured, then it should need to uh be able to it should know about the network already. So I'm assuming that's why it's not able to hit that network. Yeah, because actually, you know why? Yep, because this router on the right, doesn't actually know about this network on the left. So if I'm pretty sure if I do a debug to the actual router on the right, I'll see the pings hitting that router, but it doesn't actually know about the router on the left. So that's why it's not actually routing traffic back to itself. So a ping is an echo reply, so it's testing two-way connectivity. So let's do a debug on this router to make sure that those pings are actually hitting the router. So we're going to do a debug IP ICMP, and I'm pretty sure those packets are hitting this router. So let's just test that real quick. So we're going to do a ping. And see, like I said, those those packets are actually hitting the router, but because this router on the right doesn't know, how to get back from these doesn't know how to get to this network, then it doesn't route those packets back. Okay. So that's the connectivity issue. Okay, so let's set up an ACL. We're gonna set up ACLs on actually let's do this. So let's set up connectivity on this router. So we're going to set up connectivity on this router to actually know about the network on the left. So we're going to put a default static route into the IP table. So we're going to go IP route 0.0, 0.0.0, and the next hop is 3, 3.3.3.1. So now we should have a static route in our IP table. So show IP route. So now we have a default route in our IP table. So now I should get those pings. Let's test it and see. Okay, see now I get those pings because I set a route back up from that network. So now this network knows about that network. So now we get those pings. Okay, cool. Now, so let's say I'm working in the IT department and I wanted to have it where let's say the PCs on the bottom don't have access to the internet, the internet router, but the PCs on the top have access to the internet router. What I could do is set up an access control list. And what that access control list would do is it would block the PCs on the bottom from accessing the internet, and the PCs on the right would actually have access to the internet. So let's do that real quick. We're going to just set up a basic access control list. So we're gonna go to configuration mode, and we're gonna actually go IP access. We're gonna go IP access list, and actually, I like to do extended access control list. I don't know about you, but I like to do extended access control list. So we're not going to do a standard access control list. We're going to do extended one. So we're going to start with the number 100. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's do access control list 100, and then we're gonna go deny. I'm gonna deny I. Gonna deny ICMP. So we're just gonna deny the pings. Gonna deny ICMP from the host that we're gonna deny it from. We're gonna do host 10.0.0.2, and we're gonna go. The destination host would be the internet router, which is gonna be host 3.3.3.2. And then we're going to create that rule. But see, this actually won't work right offhand. So once I try to do it, it's still going to work. See, I can still access that router. So to actually make this work, you have to put the access control list into action by going to the interface on the left which is interface. I'm keep forgetting gigabit. Interface gigabit 0.0. So that's this particular interface. We're going to go there and we're going to apply the access control list. So we're going to do IP access group and we're going to go 100, which is the actual access list that we created, and we're going to put inside. So what that does is that stops this traffic from coming inside to actually reaching the other end of the network. So now that I applied that, I shouldn't have access to the router anymore. So I shouldn't be getting replies from ICMP traffic anymore. Let's test that out and see. So it should say destination unreachable, or it shouldn't be able to reach it at all. Let's see what it does. See, it says destination host unreachable. So previously, I was getting replies. Now I get destination host unreachable. But if I go to this PC and try to reach that destination, I still should have connectivity. So let's test that and see. So we're going to try to ping 3.3.3.2. Okay. You know what? You know what I actually did? Since I hit deny and I didn't put a permit any, this is a good example. Because after I hit put deny on this access control list, there's an implicit deny rule. So what that does is everything else underneath that rule that I created, it denies it. So let me put permit at the bottom of this access control list, and then let's see what it does. So I'm just gonna put permit any. So let's go to access control list 100, permit any, permit IP any. Okay, cool. So I'm still not going to have access from this PC. So this PC still shouldn't have access. So that one doesn't have access. So it still says destination host unreachable. But when I go here, I should have access. And voila, I have access. So I just didn't have access because that implicit deny rule was in place. But once I put in the actual the IP permit IP any, now I have connectivity. So that's just a simple, basic setup of how IP access control lists work. So what I did was I set up this network, I set up an internet router, and what I did was I denied connectivity from the bottom PCs to this internet router. And what I did was I allowed access to this internet router. And, that's just something basic to kind of help you along with your networking journey. Hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, this is Mike from GoTech. You guys have a blessed day.